Barbie, are you there, my love? Yeah, Happy New Year. Da, 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 da. Happy New Year. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, guys. Hi, Cathy. I love
How are you?
I love that color in you.
Oh, pink fleece.
Hi, Barbie. Is Ken around there? He's gonna be in a separate thing, I imagine, or
He's here, but he'll be in a separate picture. But he's finishing eating, so he didn't want to eat on camera.
okay.
Barbie, you look awesome. I love your hair. I mean, seriously, you look amazing. Well, all of y'all do. Yeah, I haven't seen all of y'all in such a long time, except Jesus yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. Tiffany in a couple of minutes.
My phone is ringing.
Hello, Nancy. Happy New Year. Oh my God.
Hello, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, my love. We're just waiting for Tiffany and this is originally from Mexico, our natural instruments for good healing energies. Isn't that a lovely sound? I love it.
Hi, Nancy. I don't know Frank. I don't know Nancy. I don't know Bill. And
I don't think I haven't met you. Hi.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Mary.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Frank.
Hello, Frank.
Hello,
Hi,
Frank.
Jesus. Hi, Mary.
Yes. Happy 2022. In a few minutes, we will start. We're just waiting for, and it's going to be really casual again. It's to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of information, and a little bit of sharing. So we'll be just waiting for Tiffany in a moment, and everything will be just, we will just start with a shot, and then we will allow to have some time at the end for comments and conversation and interacting. Or if something really is burning you inside that you have to really just put your hand up or say, Jesus, I'm here. We'll do it. And this is our Tiffany right here. We're just gonna wait a few more minutes in that way. Hello, Tiffany, my love. And hopefully, again, we will not have any technical difficulties. Sometimes with these kinds of things, sometimes that is the barrier. Oh my God, Chris is there.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Chris, it's nice to see you for the first time. We've been playing with the little things on Facebook a couple times. So now there you are.
Yes, I know. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. You guys.
Oh my gosh, there's Cathy.
Yes, there's Cathy.
Hi, everyone. I was trying to mute myself, but I can't mute it anymore. Hi, everyone.
Oh, so happy.
Hey, guys.
We will mute in a moment and we will take our time and everything. So Chris, you didn't or now gave us the present of your music, and yes, we will have a special event for creative things that hopefully then we love you to be also part of that. You know, all these people are very creative, and it will be wonderful too.
Yeah, I would love to. I was gonna say it's funny because I do a lot of recording, you know, like I'm more of a recording artist than a performing artist. So it's like I don't have a catalog of songs that I can pull out as easily. I'd have to like pick one and then practice it and then be like, okay, now I'll play, you know. So
I know what you mean, yeah, but But
Chris, I should get you hooked up with my nephew, because he plays for us all through the summer months and stuff at our Canada Day party that we would typically have with family. And
Yeah.
he is like, he can pull anything out of thin air and start playing it.
I used to be that way many moons ago, but yeah.
so
But I love music all the same. So
Yeah, you should see his studio. It's insane.
Totally.
I have to go to your studio one day. I hope so.
I totally get that, Chris, what you were saying as far as you used to be that way many moons ago, because that's the thing when we were talking about the piano and music and everything. I thought, damn, I mean, because I've had my piano. I started taking lessons since I was 5. But I tell you what, if you don't use it, you do lose it. Especially with chronic illness and MS, with your fingers and your brain and everything. But the more that you do, it's such good, what's the term? Neuroplasticity, rewiring. Yes.
That was a Sunday word. What? Say it again 3 times. Neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. It's the rewiring of the brain. It's like exercise. You gotta do
guys,
it.
you just give a couple of more minutes. But again, I just decided to call it just a chat, because this group of friends are amazing group of friends. We have even Ross all the way from Canada. But the idea is, again, that all of us, we deal with different health issues, and we're friends. Many of us, we check on each other all the time, but not because we don't have the same health issues. Again, it's like we don't identify with each other. The opposite, and we will talk about all those things in a moment, and they will have the chance to everyone to share a little bit of your own health issues. Start thinking about how in a few lines or in a short way, that sometimes it's a very difficult thing to do, how to explain your own health issues or everything that you go through every day, And again, this is going to be recorded for future sharings. But I was already crying before this, because it means a lot to be together with you guys, and I hope one day soon we really do it in person. But hey, why not? Let's just simply start again. This is going to be recorded, and let's just play it very casual. My name is Jesus Guillen, and I'm just, again, honored to know all these incredible people that in one way or another we have crossed paths and been in the same rooms that I hated that we're not in the same room. I guess if I can just say in a short way, my health issues, it's so amazing that sometimes exactly we can talk about our health issues in a few lines when we go through these things all the time. I am HIV long-term survivor for 37 years. I'm a cancer survivor of 12. I live with chronic pain. Those are my major things. I think it's very important that we also recognize our mental health. I live with anxiety and PTSD, and sometimes the same way we're scratching our walls and stuff like that. But that's just a little bit about me, and we will get deeper into everything. But I will love it if each of you just take your time to really a little bit of your own life, your own health issues. So why, without any particular order of importance, and just because someone has to direct the traffic, otherwise, why don't we start with Cathy? Cathy, why don't you start?
I was always a kid that sat in the back of the classroom,
Okay.
so the teacher wouldn't notice me. First of all, I hope that Ross has his heat fixed, because that is a ridiculous temperature to have to live with. I mean, I'm in the Northeast,
Yeah.
but Saskatchewan is a whole different world. So,
I'm nice and warm now. I'm at home.
good.
But yeah, I mean, 3:30 in the morning and your heat goes out and you're 55 below. The house, it takes a matter of an hour before you lose 15, 20 degrees. And, it becomes more of, who cares about the plumbing? It becomes, then it becomes, you don't want to freeze. So
It's crazy. Yeah.
That is a
Yeah.
goal, yeah.
yeah,
So Kathy,
Well, I wanted to squeeze that in there.
private.
So I know some of you and the others that I don't, welcome, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you. My name's Cathy Chester, and this past December marked 35 years that since I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. 35th anniversary. Yeah. So anyhow, so that was before internet, or there were no medications. So it was kind of a very scary, overwhelming time, which launched me right into advocacy, even if it was just writing letters to the editor and leading support groups in person, whatever. So I have MS, and along the way, as most of us, we gather lovely little things along with that. So I got IBS and the pain of unpredictable gut issues that are ongoing. So that's a lot of fun. And then I got alopecia, which is women's hair loss. And that is also a lot of fun to, losing your hair. That was unexpected. And I do have, I was diagnosed 25 years ago with partial complex seizures, which can also be part of MS. And I know that Tiffany, my love, she straightens me out on a lot of stuff where that's involved. So thank you for that. And what else do I have? So anyway, so I since then I blog, speak, consult, blah, 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 but I don't think we're going into that right now. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to this. And Jesus, this was a fabulous idea, and thank you for inviting me.
No, my pleasure.
And Tiffany for putting my name in there.
No, no. I mean, like, we're super.
You had to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
And
amazing.
the whole thing is sometimes that we assume that everybody knows what we're having or experiencing, but that's what this whole thing is about. So what about now that you already have Tiffany in front of me? So what about if we go with Tiffany and Chris, because you guys are together, of course.
Sure.
Yeah. So I know each and every one of you, and I love each and every one of you. It's a blessing to know all of you. So as you guys know, I have epilepsy. I have had it now for 13 years. And I was diagnosed at 22 years old, just 4 months after he and I got married. I was
Wow.
driving my car to go get birthday presents for him and Christmas presents for the family, and I crashed my car because I had a grand mal seizure. But yeah, just after going through a whole slew of emotions, toxic emotions, just and with the love of my husband and family, it really encouraged me to become an advocate, because I found so much support from family and other people in the chronic illness community. And just, oh my gosh, I experience complex partial seizures on a daily basis. I have good days and I have bad days. On the bad days, I can have upwards between 10 and upwards of, how many would you say, 10 and 20? On a good day, it could be 5 and 10. Today, I made it through with just 2.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
a victory.
it's a victory. Today was a good day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do my best just to be able to make it through the day with as little seizures as I can, while advocating with all my heart and soul.
Oh my God, and there's so many questions, believe me. I really hope even with the recording, people reach out to each one of you. I would love also, Chris, to introduce yourself, mijo, not only because I know you and I really had this wonderful connection when I met you guys, but also, and Ross, and Ken, and many of you, the word caregiving.
Yeah.
It is such an important part of our lives in one way or another. And I don't want to start crying. Because anyway, we will laugh and everything. But Chris, please, you can just say a little bit about yourself. Or
Sure. Yeah, I'll do my best. I'm Chris Kairos, and and I'm happy to know each one of you as well, which is awesome. And it's great to be here, you know, for a little bit and be able to share. But yeah, so as you know, with Tiffany, I've been her caregiver since she was diagnosed. And I always say, you know, I have secondary epilepsy. I've kind of coined that phrase because, you know, it's all the other things that are surrounding, you know, essentially. So whatever she goes through, I experience in some way, shape, or form in my own way, which is, yeah, a really interesting dynamic. But I'm thankful that things, you know, that things are the way they are, and you know, and the journey has been what it is, even though it's been hard. But and then just to add a little bit in there myself, I was gonna say I have GERD, which is gastro, and you know. Oh, do you have that too? Okay.
Oh my God, Ross there too.
Hey.
Kathy and me, yeah.
I'm not the only one. Okay. So I have a lot of stomach issues and stuff like that myself, and I have hypoglycemia. I have palpitations sometimes and things like that. You know, so all these, and that probably comes from the GERD. So I actually have stuff that I deal with on a regular basis too. Thankfully, there hasn't been huge flare-ups. For me, it's more flare-up type things. You know, I have to avoid a lot of things. I'm sensitive to a lot of things. So so thankfully all that has been good. But yeah, that's my piece here too. And I help Tiffany, you know, a little bit here and there with advocacy. I'm more behind the scenes doing website and graphic stuff and kind of the creative side of things. But
that's like a trying, like, Chris, where's Chris?
I know. None of anything that I do would be possible without him by my side.
What a great team. What an awesome team.
Yeah, and we thank you guys. And we haven't even touched again the whole portion of mental health that we go through. But passing at least through a short, you know, presentation, I want to pass through Barbie and Ken, and of course they are separate. I mean, separate in separate cameras.
yeah.
But Barbie, sorry. I mean, Barbie, the image that I have about her, the last times that I saw her, is this amazing woman in a wheelchair when she was going through hard times, and she was carrying an oxygen, you know, tank of oxygen, and she was like, Jesus, connect that oxygen right there. And she was organizing the conference and pointing here and pointing there. And I was like, what is she doing? She should be in a hospital somewhere. I mean, there's no words. They've been incredibly busy, incredibly doing so many things for people with chronic pains. I wanted to introduce you, and then they can talk separately, Barbie and Ken. And yes, those are their names, right?
I know. I love that.
I
It's
know.
official.
Barbie.
I think your mic's muted.
Yeah, you might be muted. You okay, me? It says unmute, but maybe they're having a little bit of trouble with the sound. Okay.
There goes Barbie.
That happens in any case. What about?
It's gonna have feedback, so you gotta turn yours down. Okay,
There you go. There she is.
sorry about that.
We
Can
will,
you come to my side?
we will mute ourselves, and that way we.
Oh,
There we go. Yeah, can you hear me? Someone give a
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you for that introduction. Yes.
Well, that's just our whole office now. Which side do you want to?
So I personally live with like 20 conditions, and the biggest ones are reflex sympathetic dystrophy, also known as central pain syndrome. Because I have full body. If you have regional pain where it's only in part of your body or affecting part of your body, they call that regional pain syndrome. But that's the one that bothers me the most. And then I also have microlepsy, so I go through seizures as well as all the other challenges of living with seizures. And then, as Jesus said, I was on an oxygen machine last time we saw each other in person. And so I was dragging that along on my scooter with my machine next to me. And yes, I should have been in the hospital, but my doctors were there at the conference. So I was,
You know, they
I had
diagnosed you
permission.
with the wrong thing.
And they did, they had diagnosed me with the wrong thing. And they thought I had a bacterial pneumonia, but it turned out to be valley fever, which is something you get here, a fungal infection that you get here in the Southwest, which has very similar symptoms to COVID, as a matter of fact. But I, knock on wood, I haven't got COVID and I hope I never do. And then I have all kinds of other things, endometriosis and PALB2 breast cancer, which is a genetic form of breast cancer under the BRCA2 gene, and migraines and gastroparesis, thank you. Osteoarthritis, facet arthritis, which I just got that diagnosis a few months ago. So a lot. That's like the
It's like your whole autoimmune system is haywire.
Yeah. So, and then Ken is my husband and he's awesome. He's amazing. And and he also was helping take care of his dad. You can talk about yourself.
Okay.
Or I'll keep talking.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
no, I've been a caregiver. It's been a great experience. Well, in some ways, it's been a great education, because it is an education, because you, like Chris said, you're like secondary, you see everything. And luckily I don't have to go through it in first person, I guess, but it still hurts to go through it and watch somebody you love go through it. So, but you do learn a lot. And then, yeah, I was a caregiver for my father, which had moved out here for about 5 years, but he just recently passed. But he had COPD, emphysema. He beat cancer, and he's had heart bypass. He was 77 when he passed, but he got COVID, and it gave him a pneumonia, and he just had no lung capacity to share with COVID, with a pneumonia, with having COPD. So that was just recently on Thanksgiving, or a few days after.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize that word again, that caregiving, that is seen like many agencies and organizations, and sometimes society forgot that many of us and many of you guys are experiencing or passing through this caregiving. I want to acknowledge my mother, that she's present in this presentation, because she helps me a lot as well, and I'm supposed to be taking care of her, but because she's getting older, but she does a lot of caring for me as well. And so caregiving, you guys, all of you guys who are doing caregiving, thank you.
It's teamwork. It's teamwork. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what about, we continue with this amazing, beautiful soul, Miss Mary. Good.
Thank you, Jesus. First of all, this is wonderful, and I'm kind of without words for 2 seconds, but this is something you've worked so hard to put this together, and you've worked, I mean, you've always worked so hard to bring people together, and I'm so passionate about that. So it really means a lot. But yeah, okay. So thank you, Jesus, for that. And thank you, everybody, for being here, and Happy New Year. Okay, I'm Mary Pettigrew, and I'm in Dallas, Texas. I live by myself. You probably saw a little puppy head a few minutes ago. That's who I'm married to. But anyway, I have MS. I was diagnosed a little over 20 years ago, and it's since progressed into secondary progressive MS, which kind of basically just means that you've gone from relapsing issues to some progressive issues, and it happens with age and this thing and that thing. So I won't go into that at this moment. But so I have a lot of the same issues as Cathy, besides the MS, but also with the IBS and everything that can go along with that, and it's chronic, and it goes back and forth between different levels of things, but it's chronic, and it's horrible to deal with, and that goes hand in hand with the GERD, acid reflux, and so it's like you've got your digestive system comes into play with so many different things. But anyway, so those are my and anxiety, PTSD. Those are ongoing issues. My PTSD probably came into play longer than I actually realized. But it makes me so happy to see Ken and Barbie, Tiffany and Chris, the partners together, because my ex-husband, when I was diagnosed, I overheard him say that he was embarrassed to have a wife. He did not want to have a wife that had a chronic illness. So it was a horrific divorce. He didn't want to pay me a dime. House went into foreclosure, this and that. That's a whole nother topic, but it's worth talking about, maybe for another subject. But anyway, so those are my main issues. There's a lot of chronic pain that goes on, but more so it's either spinal degenerative or neuropathy, a lot of spasticity and nerve pain. And I do have a history of endometriosis, even though I had a hysterectomy back in 2003. So I could speak about that too at another time. But anyway, yeah, so, but I'm passionate about being an advocate and speaking up and trying to do what we're doing right here, bring people together, get people talking, and sometimes get them away from their keyboard, because it just really means a lot. So again, thank you guys.
Yeah, and thank you, Mary, because she was the one that reminded me, Jesus, we haven't done this. We need to really keep it going and do it. Okay, so
We need to.
Thank you for the motivation. And what about if we pass now the sound to this? We talk almost every day, and he's all the way in Canada, and sometimes I see him taking this walks on the street when he's trying to escape from many of the things that he's passing through every day. So, Mr. Ross.
I love you, Ross. Oh, I love you. You're just awesome.
I'm glad I could make it. Thanks, Jesus. And thank you for putting this together tonight, because I know that I've failed my portion of, when we started talking about this, and just bringing people together, and being together and seeing how everyone is doing. But anyway, Ross McCreery here in Regina, Saskatchewan, middle of Canada is the easiest way, or right above North Dakota is what I usually tell most. And yeah, it's a, we live in a city of 300,000, so it's a smaller city, but the resources, and that's how I started getting to know a lot of you here, was I didn't have the resources available to me. So very appreciative that I've met this network of all of you. But diagnosed 17 years ago with RSD, as I'm going to call it now, Barbie, because as she knows, there's nothing regional about it, because with me, it has affected my, I've lost the use of my left hand. I've got it in my left leg, it's in my back, it's in my neck. I've experienced a fair amount. So that was 17 years ago. That's my main diagnosis, but I kind of feel like I'm trying to catch up to you, Barbie, in a lot of ways, because, and it's not a good thing, right? But it seems to be lately there's
Don't
more.
do it.
I know. It's been one thing after another piling on. Recently diagnosed with stomach cancer and skin cancer. Fighting the skin cancer successfully. The stomach cancer is more of a challenge, and so I've gone in about 3 weeks ago, went in, had another procedure done too, and they've pulled more out. So fighting that, I go in for surgery actually in 2 days because my stimulators have stopped working in my upper limb, and the challenge that we're facing right now is and it's the lesser of two evils. He's going to go in and replace the battery, but it's failed on all aspects. So the battery and the wire that goes into my spinal column has failed. So to pull out the wire, the risk there is that he could leave me with the times that he's been in, he could leave me completely paralyzed. And so I need to make a decision, is getting 30% pain relief worth the risk of being permanently paralyzed? So he's going to try to replace the battery and get things going. And if that does not work, then I've got a big decision to make in the coming days as to whether or not I want to have him go in. But so I advocate on a multiple of levels and really fight here in the province of Saskatchewan to create change for those not only dealing with rare diseases like CRPS or RSD, but for chronic pain conditions of all of these things. And I, like Barby, was diagnosed with osteoarthritis as well, dealing with GERD and some other stomach issues and some throat issues. Again, like Ken had said, it's almost as though the autoimmune system is failing on multiple levels, and so all of this creates this domino effect. So it makes it difficult when you're advocating, because you don't advocate just for one thing. All of a sudden, you're advocating for multiple things. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. Just honored to come together with everybody here, and I will turn it back to you, Jesus.
A little bit of the health issues, but believe me, this man is always like doing also. And also he has a family, and that's another long story, but also we're gonna have to talk about those parts of it. I want to acknowledge also the people that are present here that, I don't want to leave them behind. It's a small group in some way, but still, if you guys don't mind, Frank and Bill and my Aminci, Nancy, Duncan, my mom, there's like 4 or 5 more people, but if you guys don't mind also, we want to acknowledge you also at the end, because every health issue that you're passing through is as valuable, all the things that we're talking about. So we're gonna also allow some time, if you guys want to introduce yourself a little bit more and stuff. Well, Cathy, she has something in mind.
I'm old enough to know that if I don't ask now, I'll forget in 2 seconds. So, but something Ross said hit me is that the autoimmune in MS too, it just goes from, it kicks in one thing all across the board, and things that you never even heard of before, and you get hit with it and you got to deal with it. And it's quite something. I don't even know what the word is. It's not extraordinary. But the other thing is that when I went to Healthy Voices, believe it or not, after 35 years of advocating, that was the first time that I was with people outside of the MS community. And it was a real game changer for me to meet some of you and to meet, the other people. And my life as an advocate will never be the same. And so that's another reason why I am honored to be here. And the last thing that I'll just squeeze in, if you don't mind, is that I got COVID in October, and the mental health issues were increased so much more than beforehand. So that's also a lot of fun, as I was telling you before, all the fun things that we get hit with. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for letting me add that in.
No, that's okay, Mija. Again, the whole idea of this, I just call it the chat, but it couldn't be called again officially. I've been calling it INTERHEALTH, or whatever you guys want to call it. But it's all these people with so many different health issues, and all of you, or I think all of us, we met in this amazing conference called Healthy Voices. And the same thing as you, Cathy, and some of us, I felt like I left my bubble around of HIV to encounter wait a minute, this person right here in front of me does not have HIV, but is experiencing the same kind of pain or mental health or things like that. And that is the reason of this, Cathy. And hopefully, again, this is just number one, and we can really do 2, 3, 4, 5, 2000 with focusing in certain issues. We already were talking, Chris, that's what about, to do a creative one, because all of these people, sometimes we manifest ourselves by creative ways. But I want to go to a little bit more silly part of us, because the reality again is that sometimes people look at us and like even Marie was saying about relationships and everything, they look at the health issue, at the disease. And we are so much more than whatever we're experiencing too. But as advocates, we also talk about these health issues a lot. But I want to go to a whole different thing, secret pleasures. So especially when we are in a lot of pain or a lot of problems, chronic illnesses, or going to the hospital constantly or whatever, all of us might have a little something that we want to eat or do, or watch certain particular movies, something. And so I want to go to that.
I'll tell you what I do.
Start with Mary. Mary,
Okay.
put the hand up. What are
Okay.
your secret pleasures?
Well, because of the stomach issues and the GERD, I mean, I've gotten myself in too many troubles as far as the comfort food thing, because I love Mexican food. I love macaroni and cheese. And then I get myself in trouble. So I've decided, no, I'll just do scrambled eggs and blah, blah, blah. But my guilty pleasures are when I'm feeling yucky, I watch crime shows. I watch murder. I watch the I watch the ID channel. And in fact, it's on in my bedroom right now, all these, these unsolved murder things. And it just, why does that calm me down? What is wrong with me that I watch murder and crime as a, but then if I watch something that's a little bit too intense and I need to take a break, and then I'll flip it over to something silly like, old like Friends or something like that, just to chill out my brain. But anyways, that's my guilty pleasure is watching. I watch murder.
I love watching crime shows and mystery shows. He knows all about it.
I mean, I'm talking like, even when it gets like scary dark, when it's scary dark. Oh my God.
I like watching those, shows about like, like serial killers getting caught.
Yes, exactly. I'm fascinated with forensic psychology and what makes the mind.
Understand their mind process and how they think and why they do what they do.
Exactly. Bingo. I mean, Charles Manson, Jim Jones, all those things that go way back or things that are happening now.
Yeah. Some people think I'm weird, but it's like, no, that's not it. It's like, I want to know why they do what they do. Like,
it's fascinating.
It is.
That's the reason that I wanted to go a little bit more to get to know each other in a different way. So continue with that.
Thank you, Mary.
You're
So,
welcome.
so Tiffany, so you like that. What else? And you, Chris, as well. What are your secret pleasures? What do you
Come
got?
on, Chris. Give me one. Tell me something I might not know. What's something I might not know?
I'm on the spot now. I'm trying to think. Like, do I have any?
Like Cheez-Its or something?
Cheez-Its. Yeah, Cheez-Its. No. I'll let somebody else go and circle back, because I'll have to think about that. Yeah.
So, like in my case, honestly, and sadly, like Mary was talking about, sometimes, before going to bed, that's when I start eating. Sometimes I still hold on, I have to show you, because it is the only way that I can really say, what do we have right here? It has 49 flavors of
What is that? Oh, are those
Jelly Belly?
jelly? Oh, those are so yummy.
So that's one of my secret pleasures. But Cathy, you start thinking also about your secret pleasures. Come on, tell us.
I don't have any secret pleasures. I don't know. I'm like the opposite of Tiffany and Mary. I want to, especially if it's nighttime, because when Charles Manson happened, because I remember that so clearly, I'm older than some of you guys, but I had nightmares, vivid nightmares for years about poor Sharon Tate and that whole thing. And if I watch those things, they'll seep into my dreams and nightmares. So I'm the opposite. I love old black and white, anything black and white, like TCM, old movies from the 30s to, you know, the early 60s, anything black and white, old black and white TV, sitcoms or anything like that. My dream was always to go to the TCM Film Festival in Hollywood, which I could never really afford. And, you know, now that most of the stars that I would want to see are now no longer with us, I don't know who's left, but I would love to see those films remastered in the actual kind of theaters where people in the time frame when the movies came out actually saw them. So that is a definite dream of mine. I don't know if it will ever be realized, but anyway, that's not a very secret or a creative pleasure. I mean, I had to get off gluten, dairy, sugar because of the whole IBS thing. So my secrets are, you know, kind of boring. Nothing that would be too palatable to most people.
You and I have talked about the movies. Yeah, they're not boring. Yeah, we love, you and I love the same stuff as far as the classics and stuff. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna pop in real quick. You know, I'm very eclectic when it comes to movies and stuff. He actually got me into musicals. I
love musicals.
Yeah, like I haven't seen. Was it?
There's some good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm guilty as charged. Sound of Music is what I put on.
Yes, and I cry every time he sings Edelweiss. It doesn't matter. I just a baby.
It reminds me of my dad.
I didn't see that till I was an adult. Believe it or
not.
Wow.
I want to hear from Barbie and Ken also, because one of the things that I found out, and I'm sorry to be Googling these things, and where's Barbie? Where's Barbie? And hello, Bob. You know, I was reading, and don't ask me why I was Googling this, that there's a certain amount of people that have chronic pain that also get into kinky things. I'm not saying that any of you get into any of that.
What did you find on Google?
Oh, wow.
So I was reading that like the difference is exactly that sometimes when many of us that we are in constant pain, is a very different thing, because this pain is not consensual. Really, we're getting pain because it is, period. And this is when I'm gonna put something that I always like to remind everyone, because I always tell myself that pain is not punishment. You know, and this is very important to always pass this message to everyone that listens to what we are advocating in our activism. Pain is not punishment. Sometimes we feel when we are in pain that why are we, you know, why am I having this pain? What did I do? All these different things, but it's not. But going back to the kinky part, yes, I don't know why. There's a certain amount of percentage of people, and some of my friends know me, and just go with me. Barbie and Ken, what are your secret pleasures?
Reality television. We do. I don't watch anything scary at nighttime. If he wants to watch something scary, it has to be during the day, except for Forensic Files. We can watch that and sleep through the night with Forensic Files on. So
watch just a film that is rated as a horror flick and forget it. Yeah, forget it.
But I have a degree in social psychology, so I do like
just wants to hear
the why of why people do things. Yeah,
and how
exactly.
Like Tiffany was saying.
But another guilty pleasure that most people would know, that I have a like very strict diet of what I can have and what I can't have. And we finally found like a dessert item for me, because I can't have donuts and I can't have cake. But we found these things, they look like a flat waffle. And it's like the closest thing to cake that I can have. So that's kind of what I've been using for like celebrations and fun things, is I get a flat, tasteless waffle.
Ooh. Nice.
For my celebrations when everybody else is having cake or pie or something like that.
My guilty.
What about you, Ken?
Yeah. So I really like milk, but only if I have something sweet. It could be peanut butter and jelly, but anything that makes me want to drink milk, right? But
he's a serial killer.
The thing is, yes, I will kill a box of cereal in no time. I am the serial killer.
Isn't that funny that turned into the tone of the conversation? I'm sorry. Did not mean that to be the case.
All right.
He kills
So real quick.
grains and.
So here's the what I drink milk out of the gallon.
Okay.
He does drink it straight out of the jug because I don't drink it. So if you come to our house, make sure that it's a brand new gallon, or be ready to drink after Ken.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Oh.
Okay, you see, that's the whole thing. That people have to know also that these things are part of our lives. So I want to go back now to something a little bit more serious, because every time, even when I was talking to Ross, you have what? CPR, RSP. What was that? I want you to, in a few words, if somebody will ask you, but even with you, Barbie, when I was reading all the different things that you have, I went and Googled some of the things. And sometimes, even when the health issues that we have, even as well known as HIV, especially these days, many people don't even know anymore what it is. So start thinking, because I'm gonna use just a moment to do the same thing, and that way you start thinking about it. For someone that does not know what you have, how will you explain in a few words, without going to technical things and stuff, to what it is that you experience? And you have a few things, but you can select one or two. And if someone that doesn't know at all about medicine or technical issues, how will you explain what you go through, what you experience, what it is? So in my case, for example, again, the main thing was HIV. And yeah, it has been a pandemic for a long time, but all what happens is really my immune system. Again, if I think about someone that does not know what an immune system is, it's really my whole body in some way gets weak, or it opens its doors to anything, any disease that can happen, and the disease can be, extreme. The good news is that now with medicines, of course, we're covered in general, and our T cells, our defense mechanism is high, and we cannot even pass the virus to any person, and that's super important to know. So that's in general, if I will tell someone what HIV is, because there's even these days people that ask me, so if I use the same bathroom, still these days ask me, am I gonna get HIV if I use the same bathroom?
Wow.
So it's still these days. So that's like a simple explanation. So who wants to start with a simple explanation? Imagine that you're telling to a kid or someone, again, that does not know much about your health issue. How will you explain that to someone in simple words?
I think Frank wants to
Frank has Frank has something.
Oh, Frank Dietrich, I'm gonna ask him to unmute. Okay, Frank, please go ahead.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but the new people didn't get a chance to share yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't a sharing thing, but please go ahead, share yourself. We were gonna leave for the ending for you guys, but go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
My name is Frank. I live in Philadelphia. I've been living with schizoaffective disorder, depressive type, since my 20s, and I'm 68. I've been the caretaker for my mother, who passed away last year at the age of 91. I'm a lung cancer survivor of 3 years in remission, and I got COPD from the immunotherapy drug that helped me beat the lung cancer. And I'm also living with drug-induced Parkinson's disease caused by my psych meds. It's different than Parkinson's disease. It's not as bad, it's not degenerative. And so I also live with osteoarthritis and skin cancer, and I've had melanoma 3 times and various others that aren't as bad. And I've been a mental health advocate in my life. More recently, I've done lung cancer advocacy and LGBT rights advocacy.
Thank you, Frank. it was not in any way to be disrespectful with anyone present and stuff. I did mention that we will leave a space at the end, but if anyone again feels really like sharing something at this moment, please do. So thank you, Frank. We appreciate it. All it is difficult sometimes to have a conversation with every person present, but we acknowledge you and respect you, especially advocates. So thank you for saying that. Are you doing okay with COVID right now and stuff?
Yeah, I haven't had it yet. I've been very careful. Today I went for a walk in my park, which is a safe place for me without a mask. And there's a parade in Philadelphia, and people on the way home from the parade walked down the street near the park. And it was a little scary, but I tried to avoid them as best I could. And I hope I don't get it from that.
Thank you, Frank. Same thing with everyone present. Again, if there's someone that really feel like, saying something in any moment, please do so. The whole idea again with this idea was just to at least have a few of us to share a little bit of what we go through, because many times we are in meetings or gatherings that only HIV people, only people with chronic pain, only people with mental health, and this was the idea. And again, we will leave more space also for questions and for anything that comes to your mind. So in the way that I was talking about, again, the intro, saying again to someone what you're going through in a few words, Barbie, how will you say then to someone that does not know about I read a few things, but how will you explain to someone what you have?
The worst symptom or condition for me is RSD, reflex sympathetic dystrophy, and I do a very fast way of explaining it. Reflex is anything in your body that's automatic, goes haywire. Sympathetic is your nervous system. For me, it feels like someone put lighter fluid in my veins and caught me on fire. It's very difficult to put that burning fire feeling out. And dystrophy is loss of muscle and bone, and that's why I spent 7 years in a wheelchair. And I currently have a treatment that helps me walk, but sometimes I need assistive devices to get around. And right now I'm walking, but I also do infusion therapy. So I kind of just throw those three, definitions real quick. And I think that helps give people a picture in their mind of what it is.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I guess it's always, again, it's amazing how people don't know anything about the things that we're passing through. And sometimes like, wait a minute. So that's what I was asking, because even again with Ross, with some of the other people here, sometimes I have to remind myself, what did you say you have? So saying that, I want to ask Ross if he can tell people in a few words also, in a simple way, what would you say? Because I know that you go through so many things, but especially
CRPS.
Thank you.
Or RSD, and that but I like Barbie had said, I've got a problem with it, because why are we bouncing back and forth between RSD and CRP? Like, why are we renaming it? You're on mute, Barbie.
We do that because some people have full body, some people have
right.
Regional pain, but also there's over 20 names. The newest name is algoneurodystrophy, but that doesn't mean a lot to people. So You'll find a lot of patients will say RSD because it's easier to explain. And that was the name for the longest time. But there's also central pain syndrome and algoneurodystrophy, and every new doctor thinks they found something new because it's a rare disease. So because it's a rare disease, different doctors are like, oh, I found this or I found that. And the doctors who came up with CRPS were, and I have this on tape, they were drunk when they came up with the name, and the least drunk doctor was the one who suggested CRPS as the new name. And the other ones were like, yeah, sounds good. And we're done. And so it really doesn't describe what you go through like RSD does.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the problem. Again, sometimes to explain to people, and even some doctors, sometimes they're not even aware of the new name of what's going on. And again, this is just the first time that we're gathering, guys. So if there's ideas, focuses, and everything that we can do in the near future, please do so. And there might be one again that we focus in mental health or other things. Cathy, how will you explain someone what you have without really using many technical words or nothing complicated? If somebody is, again, especially if a kid asks you, so what?
Whoops, sorry.
What is MS?
And I have had people ask me like that.
Imagine like a kid of 7, 8
What the
years old.
f- is MS, you know?
What?
Yeah. You know, my cousin has Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune. And she says, you're so lucky and blessed or whatever the word is, because you have walks for MS and you have fundraisers and you have people talking, you have commercials, and nobody knows what Graves' disease is. So, there's that. Anyway, so if you have the old telephone cord with, you would see the immune system attacking that telephone cord, that protective part is attacked. It attacks the coils, and then what's underneath is disruption. And what the disruption is, it disrupts the communication between the body, the brain, and the body. So you have signals that are being interrupted. Your body's attacking. What? You're going to interrupt.
What is this rap? I don't know what that word.
It's like it's a misfire. It's like
I know what it is, but I'm asking like if I was someone.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, he's being a scooch right now. So,
yeah, I thought that was great.
And rightfully so. I understand that. So what happens, dear?
I like that.
Yes, go ahead.
Is that the body is saying, no. Your body isn't going to work correctly anymore. Your body is going to have something where your brain and your body are not going to work together from now on until there's a cure. You're not going to be able to use certain part of your bodies. There are going to be different issues that you're going to have to deal with. And they can be fatigue, which is the #1 issue. It could be all kinds of pain, bowel, bladder, you name it, that's it. It's mental, it's physical, it's everything. So
that's the idea.
So little boy, does that help you?
Thank you. Same thing with Tiffany. Tiffany, again, same thing. I know that you can show them in some way, physically in some way, but what would you say to someone very young or someone, let's say someone that has a low level of education, something, how will you explain to someone, yeah, this is what it is, epilepsy?
I have a little thing I can show you here. So our brains are very electrical. They are covered in wires. They send impulses that tell our bodies what to do. And sometimes the electrical wires, they misfire. And
misfire?
Misfire. That means that, those wires that send off those impulses that tell us to move our fingers, blink, walk, all kinds of things, they send off too much electricity, which causes us to shake or to fall to the ground and shake and just, pass out. And, sometimes we just have too much electricity going on. We don't need all that electricity. And that's called a seizure. That's called a seizure. And, a lot of people think that there's only one type of seizure where you fall to the ground and shake. But as a matter of fact, there are more than one type of seizure. And I'll give you an interesting and shocking.
There's like 14 to 16
over 20 different types of seizures.
There you go.
I have an amazing thing to tell you guys. We were all sitting together here talking with one another, and I had a seizure, and you guys had no clue.
I thought I noticed it.
He noticed it, yeah, but
I got
You
the
guys
I got
had
the instincts though.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what? Since we're recording this, I'm going to study the recording, and then I'll get back to you to see if I can notice it. But I bet you $1 million I won't notice it. Now, Chris, yeah,
you guys will never. Yeah, you guys will
I have a
know.
sixth sense.
Yeah,
interesting.
I can
Okay.
talk, and I can see you, and I can hear you,
My God.
but I will have a seizure because I go blind in this eye.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
It lasts about 5 seconds, and it'll stop.
Thank you, my love.
You know, Tiffany, my husband and I were dating when I got diagnosed with MS. We just celebrated 33 years. But he was with me when I had my first seizure. And then he is just like Chris. He just senses it. He knows it. It's really amazing because you're so in sync with each other. You know,
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that in. I think,
Oh yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I'll give off a funny look, or I'll go quiet, or I'll twitch one twitch, and he just knows. He just knows.
Sometimes it's even just the way, if I hear her breathe a different way, it's like, oh, you're okay.
There it is. Yeah.
Picking up on that point though, Chris, in that my wife is very much the same way with my chronic. She knows when my chronic pain is really bad, because what happens is all of a sudden my whole demeanor changes, where I just even my I get short, or I get all those things, because right, your body is under this immense pressure and stress that you're fighting. And so my moods, I become a little bit more moody, and and a lot more sensitive to noise. Noise becomes, noise is a big one with me. Or if the burning sensation is just so bad that it just, what I describe to somebody is I feel like I want to crawl out of my skin. I'm lucky or unlucky, whatever way you want to see it, but I've got a visual of a hand that is completely deformed. So a lot of people see me, I'll be in a supermarket paying for something at the store, and it almost becomes a conversation piece, right? Because they say, well, what happened to you? Did you burn yourself? Or, I'll say, no, that's what, so it's like your brain, this is a tool for me to educate people, is kind of the way that I see that you have to see it, right? Anyway, just to pick up on your point, because my wife very much is in tune with where I'm at over the last 17 years, and she's gotten like a hawk and knows, whether or not, okay, we're at a gathering, and I guess in 2 years, 3 years, I haven't been able to gather, but or any of us haven't, but she'll know if we're with family and there's 20 of us that are there, or 30 of us that are there, to say, let's shorten it up, let's go in 5 minutes, and because she's able to read that, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ross. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was just gonna say one more thing too, just about your hand and the way that you look at it, and you said you kind of have to look at it that way, and honestly, you don't have to look at it that way, and I just want to commend you that you do look at it that way, because you have the choice of how you look at it, you really do, and some people would not look at their hand in that way and could get just real bitter, against situation, against the world and all that, but you're using it as this piece essentially to hold up and make a difference. And when you're making a difference, you're not only making a difference for the world, but it's making a difference for yourself in the place that you're in now. And it's just, again, we always have this saying that we say, where we say victor, not victim, so even though you're going through all these things and the conditions are victimizing you in certain ways, and you have to go through all the struggles, you're taking it and you're saying, no, I'm a victor, not a victim. At the end of the day, I might struggle, but I'm gonna have the victory.
Thank you. We're gonna allow Mary to also do that, and what I want to do also to the people that they are, and I know there's so many things to talk about, guys. But I want to allow also the people also present after Mary also tell us a little bit about, in simple words, remember, and thank you guys for allowing me to be that bad kid, like, why? What? No, what is that? For allowing me to do that, because at the end it's that we have to understand in a simple way many of these things that we talk. Imagine that there's a commercial and you have to explain to someone that in a simple way. But after Mary, what I want to do, and if it's okay with you, Bill, Bob, Frank, for Frank already spoke a little bit, but still, if there's something else, my mama, Raymond, and whoever is also here present, if you guys want to.
And Nancy, yeah, we don't know about
Nancy, my love, I adore you. So if you guys want to, after Mary right now, so please just put your hand up or something. If you don't want to, that's okay as well. But if you want to, please, you can share a little bit about what you go through. So Mary, in simple words, I am this kid that you're gonna explain to me. What do you have? What is your, what are you sick?
Well, to piggyback off of Cathy, since she and I both have MS, she basically, instead of the telephone wire that you said, I kind of use like a lamp. I tell, like when I tell friends or whoever, a lamp and the cord, it's basically the same thing, where you try to plug in, your brain is the light bulb, and then you try to plug in the lamp, and so your spinal cord is the cord that you plug into the wall. And so, but the cord is frayed, which is like, your spinal cord has all, it's like, again, it's trying to make that light bulb come on in the brain, which is the brain. And so therefore it flickers and it's trying, but it can't do it. And that's kind of where I also describe my fatigue. Again, the body, it goes through so much exhaustion. It's just kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's, well, I'm getting off track here. Okay. So, but here's the main thing. Here's the main thing. Okay. The main thing that drives me crazy, but I'm so much better about letting things go now and just kind of, not having to be defensive or having to explain myself or give excuses or educate, family, friends, whoever. If they don't get it, they don't get it. That's it. But when I can't tell you how many years it'd be like, if I have to cancel plans because something happens. The thing is, you never know. Sometimes, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, it's unpredictable. That's the main thing. It's unpredictable. And so when I have to cancel plans at the last minute or something doesn't work out, it's like, well, you were fine yesterday. What brought this on? What happened? Well, why don't you do this? Or, we'll just go for a walk. You'll feel better. So that's kind of the main thing. But I just wanted to piggyback off of what Cathy said, because yeah, it's hard. And a lot of, and see, MS affects people differently it's like each and every one of us is different. And that's another thing that drives me crazy. Someone will say, oh, well, my aunt had it and she died, or my cousin had it and she's doing great, or my friend had it and she takes Chinese herbs and she's doing perfect. That's going to cure you. So there's all sorts of things that used to drive me bananas and make me stressed. I choose not to go there anymore. Cathy, I don't know. You've got more years under your belt than I do, dealing with this.
I was thinking at the end, like, how will you explain that?
Reach a point where it's like, I'm not going to let this bog me down anymore. I've got to move on. So
good.
There you go.
So guys, again, I want to show, I was laughing a little bit now about you, because there's some women right here showing pillows to each other. It's like,
oh, how cute. I want one.
I adore you guys. So, okay, start thinking. I ask you if you had an object or something that it will tell a story about you, but I really want to give, time keeps passing by. I really would love to give the spot to some of the people again present. If anyone else wants to speak a little bit, this is a new year. The whole idea of this is about people with different health issues to share to the world a little bit of good energy, because many of these people, again, we checking each other constantly, adore each other. So I hope she doesn't kill me, but I would love to put on the spot immediately our Nancy Duncan, because I admire her a lot, and I don't want to even say anything about her. I would love to that she says a little bit about that, because in every health issue that we pass through, guys, gender, race, culture, ethnic groups, any of these things, it does count and it does affect us. So I'm honored to know here my friend Nancy Duncan. If you
Hi.
don't mind.
Okay, so first of all, you're not putting me on the spot because I talk about myself. I've been talking about my health issues for many, many years. So I know Jesus from I guess from your group, your HIV long-term survivor group on Facebook, and that's where I kind of met him, because I'm also an HIV long-term survivor. I've been living with HIV. This will be my 37th year, so we're both about the same. And yeah, I contracted HIV when I was 28 years old in 1985, and listening to a lot of the stories I've heard, there's been times when I dealt with pain, physical pain, but thank God now I don't have chronic pain. But I did go through a lot at the beginning. I walked around with HIV for years before I got tested, because I guess I was kind of in denial, didn't realize I had it because there was no symptoms at the beginning. But when I found out I already had an AIDS diagnosis, so I was pretty sick. And I had one of the more serious opportunistic infections that people can get from HIV or having an AIDS diagnosis, which is lymphoma cancer, in 1996. And I really thought that that was going to be it for me. My mom was ready to put me in hospice. But I think what helped me to survive and to get through that was I wanted to see my son grow into an adult. At the time, when I first found out, he was only 10 years old. And I didn't really want to tell him right away, and I didn't, but I wanted to just see him grow up. He saw a lot of stuff happen to me in those earlier years that no child should see happen to their parent. It caused him post-traumatic stress disorder. It caused me post-traumatic stress disorder. And, I've been suffering from generalized anxiety disorder, I think, most of my life. I think it got worse, though, as I've gotten older, because, when you're younger, you don't have as many problems. It's not as much to stress out about. But, when you have health problems, that can be very stressful and cause anxiety. And sometimes people don't understand anxiety. They think you could just snap out of it like depression, and you can't. And I know I can't. There are certain things that I can do to help it, but it's just always there. It's kind of like, I tell people, like, I always have that feeling like I left the house and I'm thinking that the oven is on or something. Like, it's that kind of feeling, like it's like always feeling like something is wrong. And it's just very hard to get past, for me to get past that. But praying to my higher power helps. I decided when my son turned 18 in 1998, I wanted to respect his wishes. He didn't want people to know that his mother was positive because of the stigma when he was in school. So I respected his wishes, and I didn't, we didn't really tell too many people. But when he turned 18 and he left high school, he didn't really care anymore. So that's when I decided to go out and start do public speaking. I just went into high schools and colleges and told my story. And just my hope was that nobody else, because we know that HIV is really preventable. It's totally preventable unless one gets raped or is born with it. It's totally preventable. It's not like other diseases. It's something that doesn't have to happen if people are educated about it, and do they have safer sex or whatever. So I wanted people to know my story. I tell people, I guess that I don't want people to think that only people with HIV are a certain type of person. Like you don't have to be this type of person. It can happen to anybody. And my story kind of reflects that, in that I don't have a lot of the risk factors that a lot of people with living with, or people might think that a person with HIV or AIDS has. I don't have any of them really. So I tell that in my story, and I guess I just want to make people aware, maybe make them a little afraid of what can happen to them if they don't choose to, be careful when they have sex with people, especially if they don't know who these people are, if their people are have gotten tested. So I tell them, if you're gonna have sex, use a condom. If you're gonna start a relationship, just go out and get tested together.
A lot of things
So-
to say, right?
What was that?
A lot of things to really talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to go on too long, but basically I'm just very grateful thank you for inviting me on the call. It was interesting to listen to everybody's different situations and stories. And I'm just grateful, really grateful to still be here. I just my son's going to be 42 this year, and so I was able to, I got my wish. I got to see him grow and turn to an adult, and if everything, that's what I'm most grateful for him.
That is the best thing. Happy New Year. So yeah, the part of this thing we had today, especially about that you can see all these different stories and all these different people with different health issues, and somehow again how we connect. But again, a reminder of how the gender and culture and race and economical status and many of these things, how it really makes the difference in our health. Time keeps passing by. So again, we have, I don't know if Bob or Raymond or Bill, maybe any of you want to, okay, Bob. Okay, hello, Bob. This is Mr. Bob. And, he can
Hello there. I'm new to this group, so I don't know any of you. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's not really specifically group, Michael. It's the first time that we're doing this INTERHEALTH gathering of people with different health issues and just sharing some good energy for New Year. So,
okay.
That's really what it is about. So,
well, I'm one of those HIV long-term survivors that you hear about. I had it for 34 years. Well, HIV for 34 years. And when I got full-blown AIDS, none of the drugs worked on me. So I had full-blown AIDS for 15 years, like 6 T cells, if you know what that means, for that long. So I had no immune system, basically. And I got pneumocystis 3 times. And the 3rd time my doctor sent me home to die. I was 88 pounds and on a tube and, all that kind of stuff. So he sent me home literally to die because he didn't want me to die in the hospital. He said, we can't do anything more for you here. And the reason I want to tell this story, I don't know why this one came to light, but this was a funny story that I think is great. I couldn't eat anything because I would throw it up. I was dying. And my friend, I was talking to a group of friends, and a friend bought some McDonald's to the house. And he said, I know that this gets into my secret. I love Big Macs. So he said, I know when you were in the hospital, when I asked you if you would eat anything, what would it be? I said, I would want to eat a Big Mac, but I just can't. So he came to the house after all of this has happened, and he said, I stopped by McDonald's. And I said, you did not bring me a Big Mac. And he said, no, I thought I'd better start smaller. I brought you some fries and a chicken sandwich. And of course, he sat it in front of me, and I just didn't even think about it. There were about 10 people around talking to me because all my friends were around all the time because they didn't know when I was going to go. And as I'm talking, I pick up the fries and I start eating them. And I don't notice that I'm eating them. And I just pick up another fry and I eat it. And I feel fine. And I pick up another fry and I eat without noticing that I'm doing it. But I'm noticing that there's people looking at each other through, like, do you see what he's doing? Don't say anything. It may stop. So that was the first food I ate. And after that, I I was able to eat again. And therefore
McDonald's
I,
French fries.
so we call it the miracle of McDonald's. And I don't know why I wanted to share that story, but I just think that is, things are not what you seem all the time. They're terrible, but then there are those wonderful moments that make you realize how lovely life is, really. And so I hope I'm thankfully not in chronic pain. So that I don't really understand, but I do understand about health issues. So thank you very much for letting me be here.
Thank you.
Hey Zeus, if I could just cut in for 1 sec, because I wanted to pick up on something Bob said there really quick. That's really important, and one of the reasons that meeting like this is so important. It's we don't hear enough of those stories, right? And enough of those good moments of the things that take the negatives that we're facing and turn them into those positives and the ways that we overcome. That's all I want.
Thank you, mijo. So, okay, we have a Raymond. Raymond, if you don't mind, Raymond Burdu. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your last name, baby.
Well, let's start with that. It's Bordeaux, like the city, like the region. So or like your wine that you love to drink. Okay. So I'll start off with a joke because I like Big Macs too, but it has nothing to do with hamburgers. So I would first think that story is relevant to me. In high school, I developed mononucleosis. And so at that time, I was on the track team and no way was I going to stop because it just seemed like a small illness. But before I knew it, I was placed in the hospital and boy, I was overcome by illness. And, I didn't eat for a couple of days, but one time a friend sneaked me in some Hardee's. If you don't know, that's like a Midwestern hamburger chain here. Yep. So he brought me a stupid hamburger that I wouldn't normally eat. And I ate that first burger and I was eating those burgers and those French fries, and I never looked back. So it's weird how sometimes like a pleasurable thing can snap you out of your illness, right? So for me, I'm down here in Palm Springs. My last couple of years have been dominated kind of in terms of my HIV. I'm 36 years now, so I'm one of you guys. And then, but my big friendship with Timothy Ray Brown, the Berlin patient, has been very monumental with everything I've been thinking about, because I got him to come to Palm Springs and he was kind of a sick man because of the operations that he had to go through to get his cure. But in Palm Springs, he found sunshine and the yoga class, which was so great for him. And he was feeling really great in doing everything. And then his cancer came back from the original state. And oh my gosh, in a couple of months, boom, it overwhelmed him and it took him from this planet. So I have real big PTSD over that. And one of the things that kind of strikes me, I'm skipping a lot of stuff because I want to be brief here, but the thing that I've been confronted with lately is a lot of people say to me, and I heard this in the others talk about when people have MS, and even now with COVID, they look at, oh, well, you look too good, yeah, you're doing great. Well, one of our kick-ass members, that's our long-term survivor group, a beautiful man by the name of Wayne, who was 55. Well, we found out that he passed away this week. He didn't get sick, but he passed away this week. We don't know why yet, but we assume it's because of long-time HIV. But he looked great and was doing things with us. So there's a type of illness that can't be seen by the public, but is very real. And so when like, Nancy, you're just great. You're just a hero. But when you say that you're not really sick, I feel like we're dealing with so much stress and trauma that we are kind of sick, just not in the classical sense of having pneumonia, but we're very, very ill and tired with in this case HIV. But so.
Thank you, Raymond. I really appreciate
it. Yeah, we live with chronic illness. We live with chronic illness.
Chronic illness.
Yeah,
and that's different than what we were first told. which was terminal illness.
That's, yeah.
So that's pretty cool that we didn't buy into that,
Thank
and
you.
that we made it to now this perpetual chronic illness, which is not great either. And maybe if we're healthy enough, like what I want to do right now is say, oh, I'm going to be 60 this year. I'm in pretty good shape for a 60-year-old. Oh, I'm a 36-year survivor of HIV. Oh, I'm in pretty good shape for a 36-year survivor. So maybe there's some kind of a message I can give that says, I didn't buy into the terminal illness thing, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you, Raymond.
All
And of course, it's very difficult to always continue with something after we know that many people keep leaving us. And now with COVID, also we're having many people leaving us as well. Time keeps passing by, so I want to leave the spot to Mr. Bill. I don't even know how to pronounce your last name. The same thing. I'm so sorry. Five.
Five.
Thank you, Bill. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So I don't know, Jesus, if you remember that we kind of connected with one of the online forums for the California Department on Aging. So this is the first time I'm attending your group. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. This is the first time again that we do this INTERHEALTH thing, and it's super important. But yes, aging, very important, guys. Go ahead, Bill.
So I have to apologize. I do not have any type of disorder or disease as you are experiencing, but I am a caretaker. I do support people, about 2.5 people through my caretaking, which is very, I guess, stressful mentally sometimes as a caretaker. But I also do things such as, I've done walks and swims for Fragile X, breast cancer, HIV, and lupus. Those are definitely on the top of my list for people that I know personally that are experiencing that. But as I just said, I do a lot of things such as advocate for health. For instance, just recently, at the end of last month, the California Office of Emergency Services put out their report on, if there's a disaster and what do you do? And as I was reviewing the report, it leaves out caretakers if you're in a wheelchair or something like that. So how, I wrote back to the state of California, how can you put out this report? How can you not account for people who are, completely dependent on others because they're in a wheelchair? You need to revise your report. The other thing that I put on there, in terms of a natural disaster, climate change, if FEMA comes in and you have communal housing, can transgender people have a safe place to shower and bathroom? So I look at all these things. So I advocate for people in many ways, even though I don't fall in any of the categories you're here, again, just only as a caretaker. But on the other hand, speaking up to the Department of Aging, the state of California Department of Health. I live in LA County, so I talk to the county about HIV and aging and the challenges LGBTQ faces aging because of what they've gone through. So I make this a priority. So I'm listening, constantly listening. And in the end of the last quarter of last year, I enrolled in a certificate program for community health to better understand it from an academic point of view. So I'm taking all this knowledge and taking it into colleges and universities. And I actually do a workshop that I've done about 10 workshops in academic year 2020-2021 at the college and university level on the challenges LGBTQ people face as they're growing older.
Sure.
And as it relates to HIV and AIDS, people who are LGBTQ and are getting dementia and Alzheimer's, and making sure that not every place is San Francisco, not every place is Palm Springs or San Diego, or even West Hollywood, which has LGBTQ housing. We have to understand that people in Central California and other places like Lancaster don't have, LGBTQ housing. So we need to make sure that the staff is trained to be sensitive and have cultural humility training. So I'm advocating for this at the state level. This is kind of what I do. And so I appreciate you allowing me to participate tonight to gather more knowledge so that I can take back to my class and say, I listen to people. This is their stories. This is how they relate to their stories. And this is how we can learn from them. And I encourage my fellow students, go outside your safety zone and listen, watch and listen, ask questions, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And because of that, that's how I actually got involved more in the state of California, the Office of Emergency Services, and really looking at their policies. So this is what I do.
Thank you so much. And we will not be anywhere without our allies. So yes, as you can see, guys, there's like 100,000 things that we can talk about. And I think at the next time we will focus on mental health. We didn't even touch briefly at all mental health. I'm going to go back to all these INTERHEALTH things. First, again, I'm incredibly thankful to really know people with so many different health issues. Marie, do you have an object that says a little bit, that says a story or that says anything about this? And we can maybe start saying Happy New Year and our wishes for our communities. But Marie, do you have an object that tells a little bit of a story or a reason of why you have it or something that says something?
Okay, well, yeah, it kind of popped into my head just briefly, but this is my grandmother.
Okay.
This is my grandma.
Yeah.
And this is she was very talented. Okay, this is her writing award that she won. We come from a small town in Missouri, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and so when I write, the only thing in front of me is a picture of her because she wanted to be a writer. She could play any musical instrument. She wanted to be an actress, but she got married to my grandfather at the age of 18 to the dismay of both of their parents. And so then she proceeded to have, my mother and then my mom's two sisters. So long story short, I think that my grandmother she had so many talents that she never had a chance to utilize. And so therefore I kind of feel her knocking on my head sometimes to say, go sit down, practice the piano or, write this or do that. And so I think that that's why, and also I love this little trophy that she won. It was for some of the writing that she did for it's just a bird that's free and flying,
Yeah.
So I don't have much to say about that except
No,
I feel her and but that's kind of how it's part of my story. It's part of me. If
Yeah,
you had a chance to walk through my house, every single room, there's something that pertains to my story. So there you go.
Yeah, the whole idea, guys, again, remember, is that it's not just your health issue, it's all these beautiful, wonderful things that we're talking about for each person. Is that so many parts that we are, so thank you for that. I know that it was a last minute thing to all the participants in this gathering today, but Rose, Barbie, Tiffany, do any of you have an object that you would like to, I know it was a last minute thing, Cathy, but if you guys don't, well, I think Cathy's handling something. Okay, Cathy, go ahead.
Isn't it sad that my son is 7 years old in this picture and he's 29 now, but this picture just speaks to me, and it's the reason why I do what I do and why he was born after I already had MS. So he's grown up with knowing that we wanted to be honest right from the start about disability and about compassion and respect and all the things that we try to advocate for. And he's going out in the world and he's using that for his generation. And I just hope that they pass it on and so on and so on, because in the world that we live in that's so fractured in so many ways, it's so important that we focus on the positive. And who did I just read yesterday? Because I read so many spiritual things, is that when you look for the positive, the more you look for it, the more you're going to see it. And last year, I was not that way because I got COVID and because of all the other, MS and everything else that happened. I was really getting to look into the negative. And so he really grounds me. And so that's my bird. The other thing I just want to point out is what Bill, who I was very impressed with, what he was saying, because I took 9 months off from blogging because I was really just burnt out and needed new direction, and Healthy Voices Impact Fund gave me this very generous grant to redo my blog, which I just bounced back with last week. I'm going to be 63. I've had MS for 35 years, and aging is a big, big issue with me because I know a lot of people in my demographic that doctors are saying, well, we're not going to give you any medications anymore. What's the point? It's not working. You know, what's the point of giving it to you? Or so there's a myriad of issues that are happening, negative issues that are happening to that demographic of 60 and higher. And aging is a big thing. And I'd like to figure out a way to not only advocate for just the MS community, but for all communities, to show that we matter and to show what we can do and how we can treat people in a more respectful and dignified way. I've spoken to different advocacy directors of different MS organizations, because although most people are diagnosed in their 20s, there's still a lot of us that are not in our 20s. And of course, all the ad campaigns are beautiful, perfect bodied people. And that's just not reality. But it's fallen on deaf ears. And so I love what Bill's doing. I love that he's going after this degree and that he's joining this in California. I don't know what New Jersey has, but we're looking to move to North Carolina anyway. But I love the whole aging thing is really like, it's just really bothering me. And I like to listen to my nudges and honor them.
I know, my love. Yeah, and this is something, if you guys allow me, whoever, especially other people that join us, if you guys send me your email, I will be willing to share it with everybody else. And also forgive me, sometimes I'm trying to redirect and direct everyone. Again, there's so many things that we can talk about.
No, I'm sorry if I took too much time. I just wanted to get that in there.
Okay, it's okay. I'm just saying that in general, and not just about you. Forgive me, please, if I keep redirecting a little bit. Time is there's so much to talk about. Aging is a passion of me. We have to talk, but Cathy, start thinking about something inspirational for everyone from the community and stuff. There you go. So Barbie has something in hand. Go ahead, Barbie.
So I have all around me, there's pictures and awards, and I brought some of them closer, but this little elephant represents me because, one, pink is my favorite color. My name's Barbie, so how could pink not be my color? But elephants take 2 years to have a baby. Like, it's a 2-year birthing process. And that's kind of how I live my life, is like doing projects and knowing that there'll be an end to them. But I also like to give myself plenty of time to get a project done. So for me, I'm like an elephant, and I like to give myself 1 to 2 years to make something really good happen. And so this little guy sits up on my shelf to remind me of that.
Raymond is showing an elephant as well. Oh, that's so beautiful. He's responding to your elephant.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so awesome. And in my other room, I have a tree. Well, at Christmas, I put it all into the main tree, but Jesus gave me a cross in 2019, and I keep that out all year long as well. But it's in the other room at the other end of the house. It was too far to run. But I love that too. I love my cross too.
So also, I don't know, your Tiffany or Chris or Ross have an object. Again, it was something that I thought last minute. And again, guys, I know that there's 100,000 that we talk about. I'm incredibly thankful to meet all of you in the conference. That for the ones that haven't been there, check out Healthy Voices. I know that we are in some way and giving publicity to them, but thank you, Bill. I will not leave before grabbing your email also, but you guys can find those, all of us. You guys can find those in almost every social media, I think, but please feel welcome to put your emails and information right here. No doubt there's 100,000 things to talk about. I really want to, again, thank Healthy Voices because, and this is kind of like the little tree that Healthy Voices had. And for ones that don't know, Healthy Voices, that's what in some way it kind of opened my eyes to, again, like some other people right here, I've been with HIV for 37 years, and I realized that I have so much connection with all of these people right here. And I was listening to what Tiffany was saying about what that she experiences this year. And one of the other, again, invisible things. I'm talking to you guys, and I'm doing this with my hands down there because my pain in the last few days also has been incredibly high. And I'm talking to you, and I'm doing these things with all the love in the world. And I'm almost doing this with my hand because the pain is there. And that's another invisible disease. So I want you in some way, just because there's really almost, I mean, I guess we can keep going, but I asked room only for 2 hours. So I guess we can always do that. But we will do another one, and we will focus on mental health or aging or different things that we need to talk about. But I really want you to start talking about from your own communities, that you guys are my community. Also, I'm saying your own communities, but you guys are my community. You know, we are always intertwining and doing things. So please, from as representatives that you are, and I admire you with all my heart because, and I keep telling that my mother, and she's here again, she speaks a little bit of English, but she's here. I admire you so much. And I tell her about each of you all the time, because I tell them how many things you go through every day, and you keep advocating and doing activism. And all the people that I don't know that well, thank you, Raymond and Bill and Frank and Nancy and all the people, Bob, and all these people right here present also, that today we didn't have a chance to talk a lot, but we will do this a lot more. But Marie, from your heart, from as a person and as a community, this is a new year, 2022. What would you wish to, again, I keep saying your community, but also to the whole world, from your community to the world? What would you like to see happen? What, let's just say a little bit more about that, and end this with hopefully something happy and or so or something. Marie.
I just want less. It's been a very tumultuous. I guess I don't know if that's it's been tumultuous in so many different ways. I want more peace. I want more people to come together. I'll try not to drone on, but Tiffany knows this. She and I have been talking about this movie that really had an impact on me. It's called Don't Look Up. There's a message there. There's an underlying. I'm serious. It's a satire, but when you watch it, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll grab your chest and go, and you won't be able to breathe, but then you'll be able to. It's just amazing. But the message is, if we don't look up, we're just going to get lost in the miasma of bullshit, negativity, toxicity, and I have no room for that. And I can't. And that includes people that just, I'm a people pleaser. I'm an empath. And I refuse to get sucked into that arena. And so I think, but we all need to come together and as best as possible. I want more peace. That's what I want. I want people to be rational. I want people to be kind. There you go. I could go on.
I gotta go with you on that.
We keep sharing love like you guys are doing. Okay.
I gotta go with you on that a little bit, because I am a people pleaser too. And, you know, I tell this to Chris sometimes, that sometimes gets me into trouble. Because I'm, you know, sometimes a little too nice, and sometimes I don't always say things the right way. And sometimes, you know, it comes back to bite me. But I really, you know, hope that, you know, communication can be more, prevalent as we move forward, and not so much judgment. And
don't change because I keep following every little thing that you do, so don't change.
yeah, right. I mean, I would love to see more communication and not,
Yes.
so much jumping to conclusions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chris, you're in the spot.
What's that?
You're in the spot.
On the spot?
Wishes for New Year 2022.
What are your wishes for 2022?
Ooh, that was a good one. Honestly, I mean, yeah, unity is a big thing. There's so many things. I would say I kind of have to go along with that too, in the sense of just putting compassion on a higher level, patience, understanding, trying to understand the things that we can't understand. Being patient with each other. I mean, we're all completely different and complex human beings. No matter how much we're alike, we're still very different. And no matter how different we are, we're still very alike, and
Brilliant.
And it's just, I don't know. Every life is beautiful, and it's just so easy to get caught up again, in old patterns or cultural patterns or social patterns or whatever it is, that we lose sight of the fact that we are all human, that there is a love that's greater, than each one of us individually are ourselves, and and that we are stronger together in so many ways.
I don't know about you. I come from another planet. I got no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I hear you. I come from a different planet too, but I mean, we're all here now. So.
Yeah.
Ross,
Chris, I think
Ross.
I think he said it so well. Like, I would love to see more compassion. I'd love to see more respect, more communication, like all these words that we're hitting on, right? Those are all the things that, we're all different. We all have to be able to respect those differences, and that we're in all, and how do you accomplish anything? You accomplish things by listening to one another, being respectful to one another, and hearing a person's difference of opinion, and I think things have become so bitter now, and people have drawn these heavy lines and aren't moving off of those, aren't moving off those lines, and just a different level of respect is when and sorry, I'm somehow my lighting is all
Yeah, but send me your lighting. This is
I
from
know,
Canada to the world.
It's mood lighting.
It's mood lighting, yeah. I don't know what's going on or whether my camera, but no, I think I'm a very social person. I'm a very, I wear my heart on my sleeves, and I think we need to hear more of that, and where we're at and how we're feeling. We work so hard to do the things that we do as advocates, to advocate for our different diseases or our different illnesses. But I think what sometimes gets left behind is that where we're at, that self-care side of things, that how am I feeling, and the mental health that we'll get into on another session. I think those are things that we can't forget, and that we need to put to the top of that ladder. So and I think when we do that, I think several of you here, obviously, there's a few that I don't know, but and I'm looking forward to getting to know, but I think a lot of us here communicate with one another, and when it's a daily thing and we're checking in on each other, it has nothing to do with advocacy. We're checking in on each other's feelings and where we're at. right? I think that's something that gets lost. But anyway, I won't go on because I could go on and on
Love
and
you,
on.
baby. The last time that I saw the picture of Ross was Ross with frozen eyebrows, mustache. Everything was frozen in his face. So Barbie, your wishes, not only for your, of course, the whole, I call them sometimes pain riders like myself, the whole pain community, but also the whole world, from the Eye Pain Foundation, the everything, to the world and to all the pain riders. Go, Barbie.
I think that I think Chris said it very well. We all are totally different, but totally alike. And that's how I describe my sister that way. I say we're twins, we're totally alike, but totally different at the same time. But that's kind of how all humanity is. And I just hope that people see that we all need different things, and it's okay that we're all different, because we all are human. And so we're just alike, even though we have these differences. We have basic needs that are similar, and that people would see and recognize that, and also know that everybody handles the same situation differently, and give people the space or the room that they need when they are trying to handle something that's a challenge for them. Just because you would be over it in a day or a week doesn't mean that that person should be over it 2 or 5 or 10 years later. So giving people that ability to be human and still accept them and be empathetic with what they're going through at the same time. It's really important.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby. And I will be also, remember, I will be putting in all the places that we were trying to promote this event. I will go back and put all your your information for the websites. Remember, look out for the Eye Pain Foundation in different social media and etc. There's a lot of things going on. Cathy.
Sorry, I couldn't find that little pointer.
Okay. Your wishes for New Year 2022, yay! January 2nd, yay!
Well, my favorite number is 22, so it's going to be a good year. It just has to be. Dave DeBuscher, New York Knicks. If anybody knows the old New York Knicks, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, getting away from that. So, of course, I agree with what everybody said here. And I've talked about, Lori put empathy, and that's true. Empathy, compassion, respect, dignity, value. You are enough. You matter. You bring great value to the world. All the things that we preach, although I hate that word, but all the things that we're trying to get through to our communities are very important. But over the last couple of years, the big umbrella of a lot of this is mental illness, and we need to get that stigma removed so that people are more apt to talk about the various mental issues that they are facing, myself included. So I want to bring to all the communities, and of course the MS community, but for all the communities, the importance of being able to find your safe place where you feel that you can talk about these issues, and have a place where people feel comfortable enough where they can offer what they are dealing with. It's just really important. And the thing that I come back to, because I was diagnosed before the internet, is the first thing that helped me was community, was to finally find a community where I felt that everybody had my back, no matter what, unconditionally. And that is really important. And you don't, like I said before, the world is very fractured. Not so easy to find. That's why, another reason why I just loved Healthy Voices is because you could breathe. You could be who you are. Everybody understands, we have so many parallels despite the differences. So I'm going to keep preaching all of those things that everybody here said, but I would like to see that stigma lifted higher and higher and higher till we have a world where we can finally just talk about it and help each other and get what we need. There's no shame in therapy. There's no shame in talking to clergy or to your friends, or just get it out there, find that community. And that's a big That's what I would look forward to in 2022. Will it be solved in 2022? Of course not, but we can take one baby step at a time.
Thank you, Cathy. I'm really looking forward also. Please check out her blog. There's many inspirational things, and I'm very looking forward to get to know you better and work in areas of Asian. We're a smaller group enough, again, that if the rest of the people here want to also say something about the new year, we're almost there. So in a short way, Nancy, my love, I adore you. I'm very thankful for your help always. Would you like to say a few New Year things for the world? This recording again share.
Well, I think, everybody said a lot of words that I agree with, as far as the way I'd like the world to see the changes in the world and people. I don't know. It seems like something that may not happen as quickly as we would like, because it's just the way the world is, but compassion, respect, dignity. I liked, I like the saying, I am enough. That's something that I've always tried to tell myself because it's true. I just hope that this year will definitely be better than the last two. I hope that we see an end to the pandemic. I have, like everyone else, COVID fatigue. I'm tired of sitting home watching TV all the time. I want to go out and see my friends and, just like be with people. It's just, I miss that. And, just hoping that this year will be better.
Thank you, my love. We'll be in touch, of course. Bill,
I love you too.
you want to express yourself, Bill? New Year in a short way.
Sure. I will tell you all what I do every day when I wake up, and I continue to do it. And I've been doing it since about 2014. And that is every day when I wake up, I express gratitude. And then I go out in the world and do whatever I'm doing and find ways to express humility. And above all that, find a way to be of service to the community.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Bob.
There is so much that's been said that has been said more eloquently than I will be able to say it. So I just want to say something practical. I want to be able to get back to the movies. Thank you.
Yeah.
Frank.
I'm on board with what everybody said, and I really don't have anything to add to it, but I want to thank everybody for their thoughts.
And again, this is hopefully we've been doing all of us different things, but this is the beginning, hopefully, of something that, I don't know, just I think it will do something good. I don't know, really, Lori, you don't have to say something, but if you want to, we would love to hear at least Happy New Year or something, only if you want to, Lori.
Hi, just empathy, compassion, hope, kindness, and just, I don't know, sprinkle joy and peace and love.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank
Can I
you,
say something real quick?
No.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, all right, never mind.
Yes, please do.
I love
Please
it.
do.
No,
Go ahead.
no, Raymond, no.
Please do. Please do.
Come on, Chris.
I was just gonna say how how everybody's been kind of on the same page with everything here, and and Nancy said too. I think it was Nancy that said it. Like, I don't know if it's gonna change this year, in 2022, but all these things that we agree on, that we love, and that we actually care about, and where we have all that strong foundational common ground. I'll say this: this conversation won't change the world, but it starts with each one of us right here, right now, and what we do and what we take out into the world.
Right.
And each one of us have something beautiful to share in that way. And it's just cool to come together with that, again, unified. And we can take that and spread it, we'll spread. Hey, there you go. There's a goal. Spread this more than the virus this year.
Yeah.
Spread this.
I remember.
Spread this.
Chris,
Yeah.
Goodness.
Woo!
I remember reading when I was
Yeah.
very young, like I was like a teenager, that phrase that got stuck in my brain always: you change the world, you change the heart. And one little thing can create waves.
Yeah.
Raymond?
Yeah. Spread love. So this reminds me of the Course in Miracles, which saved my life in the late 80s when I stumbled upon a gal named Marianne Williamson giving lectures on the Course in Miracles. And so since then, I've been living my life, and I owe my survival to the Course in Miracles, who brought me from a religious state to a spiritual state. So I want to tell everybody that a girlfriend of mine got me a subscription, and for the year, Marianne comes out every morning now, like 30 years later. It's like dinosaur stuff, but she comes out and gives like a Course in Miracles work book thing. So it's like a practice that you do to deepen your spirituality, which is to deepen your reassurance that we are here for a purpose, that we are strong human beings. And I don't know what it is, but it really works. So you can research this by and it's a 365-day course, so you can apply it to the year. So just to let you know, Marianne Williamson does a Course in Miracles once a day thing that you can really exercise your spirituality.
Thank you,
Is
Raymond.
that cool? Is that cool? All right. And Happy
Yeah.
New Year. The
And,
best to you, Chris.
everyone-
I love you. Oh my God, that was so
everyone-
brilliant. Spread the
everyone-
love.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Everyone, I think, did I miss anyone? I hope not, because soon my cat me Zoom like my cat me Zoom. I adore all of you. I respect all of you. If Zoom Kairos, because I forgot to put more time, except 2 hours. I adore you. Thank you so much, for real. I've been calling myself the singing advocate lately, so I don't want to leave just at least singing a little bit, because that's just part of my thing. But if the Zoom Kairos, forgive me, it's not me, but this is one of the songs that I composed some time ago, and it's called En la primera mañana de enero. Different languages, different cultures. Hey, so it's called In the First Morning of January. If Zoom cut us off, please forgive me. It wasn't my fault. We will do a better job next time, all of us together. But so it goes something like this. It's one of my own songs that I composed some time ago. And it's called In the First Morning of January, and wishing you all just a lot of love and a good New Year. And I will try to speak through the music in some way to let you. En la primera mañana de enero me miro en el espejo, me estoy poniendo bien. The first morning of January, sometimes I wake up and I look at the mirror. Y no hay nada de malo, cada año es un peldaño de amores y secretos. And I think I'm getting old, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, y miro esos ojos, just lines enmarcados en mi. And I look at my eyes and they're framed by this history and journey that is broken in some way, but it's just part of our lives. It's what we are, whatever we are in this moment of time, January of 2022. En la primera mañana de enero me cuesta levantarme, me estoy poniendo viejo, I'm simply getting old. I'm gonna be 61 in January 6th. And there's a little bit of wind that sometimes feels cold entering my body, and I feel like I have to oil it somehow. I'm getting old, and it's simply life. And time keeps passing by, and remember, guys, when the year 2000 was so far away, And this is the year 2022. Me sale una sonrisa, mañana ya sonrisas, al recordar mi sueño. Remembering dreams, remembering hopes, remembering the people that they have gone away. Háblame mi mano, llévame hasta el cielo. Sometimes we think, yesterday I was a kid. Me estoy poniendo viejo. ¿Sabes una cosa? No siento nada de miedo. I'm not afraid. I just keep going. We keep going. Barba y descansa suavemente. Maybe one of these days we simply rest. En la primera mañana de enero me cuesta levantarme. It's difficult sometimes to wake up, but estoy poniendo viejo. It's just life. Just life. The first morning of January, well, the second and the third one. Did you know something? Did you know something? Oh, mi Dios. The spirits, whatever you believe You know something? I'm okay. We're okay. We're just okay. Love you guys. Happy New Year. And we'll see each other in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know what else to say.
Love you all. This is fabulous. Thank you, Jesus.
Love you guys so much.
Yeah,
Bye,
thank you.
everybody. Take
Night,
care.
everybody.
Good night, everybody. Take care.
Night.
You too. Good night.
Love you. Love you. Happy New Year.
We'll all stay
Happy New Year.
together. We'll all stay together. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.